Lawrence Okolie will take on Yves Ngabu on Saturday night for the European Cruiserweight title. This will be Okolie's 14th professional fight. Considering he didn't have many amateur fights, this is impressive going for him. He has blazed through the domestic scene at Cruiserweight, picked up the British title, the Commonwealth, now the European, so he's actually going the traditional route, albeit much faster than most fighters do it. Now he takes on Ngabu. I've watched a couple of Ngabu's fights. He calls himself the Belgian Mike Tyson. And in my experience, anybody relating themselves to Mike Tyson, calling themselves the new Mike Tyson or the white Mike Tyson or whatever, because that's what Chigayev was called for a while, the white Mike Tyson. Anybody relating themselves to Mike Tyson, it tends to end badly for them, in my experience. So will it end badly for Yves Ngabu? We'll see. He is a short cruiserweight, relatively short. He comes forward, he applies a lot of pressure. He's got 14 knockouts out of 20. He hasn't fought anybody of any great note. He fought this guy here, Mickey Nielsen, but to be honest, I'd never heard of him before you looked at the Ngabu fight. And a bunch of other people who, again, I've never heard of before. All of his fights up until this point have been in Belgium. Will he travel well? Of course, Belgium is not a million miles from the UK. It's not like he's going to have jet lag or anything like that. And apparently he's been training in Sheffield in the Winkerbank gym anyway. So he should be, used to Britain by now. But it will be different fighting in front of a big crowd at the O2. That's nothing like he's experienced before. All of his previous fights, as far as I'm aware, have been in front of relatively small crowds. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he appears to be solid, decent puncher, comes forward, applies pressure, physically strong. But will he be able to stand up to the source, Okolie's firepower? Now, Lawrence Okolie has been improving. I think that it was an inspired move to get Shane McGuigan in as his new trainer. And I'm seeing technical improvements. I saw technical improvements in his last fight. And I'm seeing technical improvements here as he's hitting the pads. To me, he seems more relaxed. He seems more fluid. Obviously, pads don't hit back. And if he's in a tough fight, the new techniques that he's learned may disintegrate. We'll see. But he's obviously, at least in my opinion, headed in the right direction in terms of developing his style. If you see the way he's holding his hands, if you see his movement, it's very different now to the way he used to move with his previous trainer. And I'm not talking about, God, I forget the guy's name. Not the American guy he was with, Barry Robinson. Not him. The trainer before that, O'Shaughnessy. If you see the way that Okolie holds his hands now, the way he moves, how fluid he is now, it's a big improvement compared to how he was when he was with O'Shaughnessy. So, yeah, I'm seeing improvements, at least in training. We'll see how that translates to the actual fight against Ngabu. Should be good. As I say, European Cruiserweight title. Are most people expecting Lawrence Okolie to blow this guy away? Because, there can be complacency sometimes. When people think you're at a certain level, you start to think you're at a certain level, and you might take your eye off the ball. So he needs to be careful not to do that and make sure that he gets through this fight victorious so he can move on to world honors, which of course is what he wants to do. Depending on how he performs here, people will say that he either needs to go ahead and seek a world title shot now or pump the brakes a little bit and continue his development. Because at world level, even though Usyk has moved up, it's still full of absolute beasts at cruiserweight. You still got Maris Bridis up there, tremendous fighter. You've still got Uniel Dorticus up there, tremendous fighter. You still got Krzysztof Glowacki, very good fighter. You still got Ilunga Makabu, who's coming off a decent win. Obviously, I forgot to mention the fact that, God, what's he called now? Gassiev has also moved up. He's still got a whole heap of other really top quality fighters at cruiserweight. So you don't want to move up to world level unless you're 100% sure. And this fight right here against Ngabu will tell us a lot about whether Lawrence is ready to take that next step or whether they should continue developing him. At the end of the day, he's only had 13 fights, so there should be no rush. He's not like a lot of these other cruiserweights who had hundreds of amateur fights. He didn't, even though he was an Olympian, relatively inexperienced in the unpaid ranks. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are any people picking Ngabu to pull off the upset? Do you think it's going to be a good fight? Do you think it's going to be a blowout? How will Ngabu react to Lawrence Okolie's power and his strength? Because that's one of the things that people maybe underestimate about Lawrence, is not just the punching power, but the physical strength. He spars heavyweights all the time and whatnot. And, you know, he wrestles around with big 240, 250 pound men. So when he's in a clinch with a cruiserweight, he's pushing him around with ease. Actually, another cruiserweight I forgot to mention at world level is Mike Perez. But what's happened to Mike Perez? Where is he? Has anybody seen him? Is he on a milk carton now? Like, what's going on with Mike Perez? I thought that he was very unfortunate in the Maris Breedis fight because Breedis held incessantly to the point that it was, in my view, blatantly illegal. Okay? Maris Breedis, a tremendous fighter. He didn't fight as, that same way against Usyk. He was a lot cleaner against Usyk, but against Mike Perez, that was horrible. Real horrible. As far as I'm concerned, Mike Perez is still viable at cruiserweight. Where is he? What's he doing? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think of Lawrence Okolie versus Yves Ngabu. All right? It's happening. I'm out.